Hello! Today I will be telling you guys about 10 NFL facts and elaborate on them. Let's not take too long and make this video longer than intended and get started. Number 1. Dolphins are losers of the sea. I'm pretty sure a bunch of guys already know about this, but still, it is a fact. Dolphins are very intelligent creatures. They can listen to commands, play around, and have shown empathy and self-awareness. However, that doesn't stop them from being, a loser. Footage from a news documentary series shown with what seemed to be a pod of dolphins getting high off pufferfish. They do this by bringing the pufferfish up to the surface, throwing it around so the pufferfish would leak their toxins in order to protect themselves from said harm. And when the dolphins get a bit of that, they'll know that they're gonna have a good time. Number 2. Belugas are what people perceive dolphins to be. I'm sure you guys would look at a dolphin and think that they could never do any harm, but not after what I just said earlier. However, belugas are exactly what most people would want from dolphins. Belugas, just like dolphins, are smart and have a social structure of their own. They like to chase each other as if they're playing or fighting, and often rub against each other. In captivity, they can be seen playing together, vocalizing and just swimming around each other. In one case, one blew bubbles while the other popped them. I could seriously sit here all day and tell you about all kinds of things about them, and all of them would still be positive things. Like, they're so adorable, how could you not like them? Look at them. And anyways, let's move on to the next animal, Number 3. Sharks don't like the taste of humans. For those who have a heavy fear of sharks, fear not, because I will possibly erase your phobia with this. Yes, sharks don't like the taste of humans. Well, there's a lot of cases of sharks biting into humans. Hell, I'm pretty sure there's a TV channel showcasing shark bite cases. They don't do it because they want to eat you. Sharks have a one-bite rule. If they see something they don't recognize, they don't exactly have hands to see if it's in their diet or not, so they bite into it instead. The moment they find out it's not a part of their dinner menu or anything of that sort, they'll just leave. There's also cases where sharks would mistake humans as a part of their food. Most of the time, these cases happen in a place where the sharks would usually hunt sea lions or whatnot, leading to these accidents to happen. I hope that's enough to ease your worries, but trust me, there's a bunch of more animals you could be more afraid than a shark biting your leg off. Number 4. Anglerfishes have a weird way of reproducing. Have you guys ever seen two anglerfishes at the same time? Me neither. But have you ever seen how this species reproduces? I bet you haven't. That's because the anglerfish reproduce by sexual parasitism. I genuinely can't trust any of the sites I found in Google because, goodness, there's a lot of weird ways these fish reproduce. In one process, the male permanently attaches themselves to the female. In another, the male bite into the female until the mating process is complete. While most cases, the male soon fuses with the female, feeding from her blood while also serving as a sperm factory. The deep-sea anglerfish doesn't work that way. After a short union, the male releases itself from the female and seeks to find out another mate. Well, that was a lot. I hope you guys understand that because that's the simplest I can make it for you guys to digest it properly. Number 5. The sunfish is defenseless at first glance. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the sunfish, whether in aquariums or pictures, but have you ever seen the front view? Yeah, it only looks big when you see it from the outside. In reality, it's almost as flat as a cutting board. Even though the sunfish has a rather huge size, they're docile and move at a very slow pace. But during feeding or to avoid predators, they can move rapidly and even take a vertical leap out of the water. But that's really its entire line of defense, is they move at like 3.2 kilometers per hour, have very little pain receptors, and even if they do take a leap out of the water, most of the time it's just for show and they still get eaten anyway. Well, at least that was what I first thought before I did more research. Even if they do get eaten, the skin of the sunfish is covered in mucus rather than scales. Not to mention the thick skin, and 50% or so of its mass is still bones, which makes it much harder for predators to chew on and a massive disadvantage when it comes to energy payoff. Unless said predators eat them while they're young by biting off their fins and throwing them like frisbees, then I guess they're defenseless until they reach adulthood. Number 6. Sea turtles are delicacies to some communities. You know, when you take a look at a picture of a turtle just swimming in the sea, you never really thought that anyone would ever do harm to it. That is, until you're served turtle soup for dinner. While hunting for sea turtles is generally illegal, it is still considered a delicacy to some communities, particularly in areas like Zanzibar, the Philippines, and the Caribbean. The principal characteristic of turtle meat is that the broth it is cooked in becomes extremely gelatinous once cooled. Turtle meat has no unique taste on its own, so the flavor of turtle soup depends entirely on seasoning. However, you don't have to worry about seeing turtle soup at a menu in a restaurant, because turtle soup has made a name for itself by being dangerous to eat since eating the flesh of turtles can cause a rare but lethal poisoning called oh my god,
Chelonotoxism.
which can cause death. Ignore that. Number 7. The weird way of scaring predators from the sea cucumber. Sorry for the ugly title, I can't think of anything else to write except that. When a sea cucumber feels threatened, it can forcefully expel its internal organs, including parts of its digestive tract, respiratory structures, and even reproductive organs through its anus or tear in its body. This sudden release of sticky, sometimes toxic tubules can entangle and deter predators, giving the sea cucumber a chance to escape. I know what you're probably thinking. It must be disgusting and a bother because how else is it supposed to get its organs back? Well, the sea cucumbers actually have the regenerative ability similar to a starfish, which means they can regenerate their lost organs in the course of several weeks to months. Interestingly enough, by doing this, the sea cucumber is actually doing a favor because it can help redistribute nutrients within the ocean ecosystem, as the expelled tissues decompose and provide food for other small organisms. Well, at least it's useful even if it's a little gross. Number 8. Orcas have their own language. Orcas have different dialect to their voices depending on their pods. Each family or group has its own distinctive set of calls that's been passed down for generations. These calls are unique enough that researchers can identify which pod an orca belongs to just by its vocalizations alone. Orcas have actually been seen using repetitive sequences in their vocal pattern with distinct whistles, suggesting a kind of vocal structure or grammar. So, just in case you ever see a pod of orcas passing by while you're out boating in the ocean, just know that they have a chance of talking about you like how humans would when they see a shark. Number 9. Male seahorses give birth for efficiency. If anything you remember about seahorses, it's mostly the fact that the males give birth instead of the females, and that raises a lot of questions as to why. Well, seahorses aren't exactly known for their defense mechanisms since they barely have any, and while they're agile and can maneuver around things easily, it's still not enough to protect themselves. When seahorses find themselves a mate, they do a complex courtship dance which involves tail holding, synchronized swimming, and snout kissing that can last for days. Once the female is ready, she deposits the eggs to the male's brood pouch through the ovipositor, which is a sort of tube-like structure to transfer the eggs. See, the reason why the males carry the eggs instead of the females is so that the female can produce more eggs while the male is pregnant, which would lead to a reduced time between broods and a faster growth in population. If the female is the one to produce the eggs and carry them, it makes them more vulnerable to predators and would probably lead to the possible extinction of seahorses. Which is sad, because seahorses' courtship rituals and mating is what the modern romance lack. Number 10. Some jellyfish is functionally immortal. Well, technically not some jellyfish since it's only one specific jellyfish, but bear with me for a moment. Turritopsis darni, aka the immortal jellyfish as its nickname, is the only jellyfish that's biologically functional to become immortal. How it works is if the jellyfish is stressed, injured, or nearing the end of its life, it returns back to its polyp state through a process called transdifferentiation. This involves the jellyfish cells in essentially reprogramming themselves, shifting from specialized adult cells back into simpler juvenile forms. Researchers are particularly interested in the immortal jellyfish because understanding the mechanisms behind its cellular reprogramming could reveal secrets about aging, stem cell behavior, and even cancer treatment in humans. So if one day we do get cancer medicine or pill that makes you immortal, just think back to this specific, difficult sounding jellyfish and thank them for being the subject of researchers. Wow, this is a very long video to edit on. I originally had an outro pre-recorded way before this, but I thought I should record the outro part because I did it without a script and I think I cussed a bunch of times before. Anyways, thank you for watching all the way through. I would say that I'm happy to share you guys facts about the same sea animals that I love, but god damn it, the things I see for this video is insane. The things I do for this project, y'all, I cannot. Anyways, have a great rest of your day or night. Again, thank you for watching or listening all the way through. Hi, editing Jen here. Past Jen forgot to mention the part where I got intense nightmares of me being tortured that led to me being very diligent on working on this project from start to finish. Anyways, bye bye.
わかるよね。わかるよね。で、予想はついてるかもしれないけど、赤点の強化があった場合、その補習が週末に行われるんで。おい！どこにも逃げられないぞ！縁の下、捕まえろ！おい！お前ら菩薩顔やめろ！